Thank you very much, Senator Duke Okosu, Ambassador Alex Lott Imaswe. A very nice one there. Delightful to watch anytime, any day. Connecting the film industry, the audio visual, to what is happening in our contemporary world here. And that is how many persons believe that throughout the ages, throughout time, the United States of America, through Hollywood, have been able to actually dominate global scenario by bringing out movies that shows American supremacy. The Indians also tried that through Bollywood, and they actually made impact, although not as powerful as the American made, dropping in the hearts of men their own superiority. And like what Martin Luther King Jr. puts it, the mind is the standard of the man, and that is what he's saying here. If we can't get it right via the movie industry, and everyone knows that, look, hey guys, this is how we operate here. When the movie shows it that, look, we can't commit crime and go for the Isakaba type of style, we look at it vis-a-vis and what we have on ground, the vigilante and others, and everyone ready to combat crime, then the criminals will know that we are already and we will not be engaging in that. Nice one, Sonny Duke Okosu there with Ambassador Alex Lott Imaswe. Nice one here. One, we look forward to always have you and see how you connect the audio visual and contemporary issues in our national discourse. Okay, this morning I will be my co-presenter, Susan Ita. Susan Ita, very nice and delightful to be with here. And I am Susan. We'll be looking at the issue that came out yesterday from the president, from the President of Khan, where Archbishop Okoye, when he talked about the issue of dialogue and engaging to solve the problems in the Middle Belt. Precisely that in killings in Benue, killings in Nasarawa State appears to be calm now. Kaduna down goes between the Middle Belt and down goes between the Northwest here, and we're looking at all of this engagement here. But many are saying that how soon can we engage?
Well, I don't think just dialogue is actually enough to put an end to all of this. The presidents need to put certain modalities in place and take certain actions. Exactly, beyond press statement, because all we hear are just words, right? He comes on air and then we are showing. We are working on it, and at the end of the day, you still find out that this killing still keeps occurring. So I think way beyond dialogue, he needs to swing into action.
Okay, he needs to swing into action. The president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces needs to swing into action here. Our producer for this morning will be having with us Reverend Joseph Ayat, who is the chairman of Northern Christian Association of Nigeria, that's Northern Khan. He is their chairman here. And we're having a retired police officer from Kano. They will be joining us via Zoom, retired police commissioner, Mr. Rabiu Aladodo, to speak on this issue of Khan, that there is need for dialogue and engagement. You know, the irony, Susan, here is that we've not talked about dialogue for long. The picture painted is that the headers are people who just came in, kill, Murad, and go, and whatever. But I think at some point in some of the conversation, some are saying, look, well, in some areas they may look like strangers, but in some areas they have lived there for centuries. As headsmen, now they're having farmers herders class. Those days used to have a grazing route where you graze. You don't touch anybody farm. Nobody build on the grazing route. You can take your cattle down to the south. When I was small there, in the late 90s and early 80s, we went to this leke. When these cattle come around, they have the white birds that follow them. And the thing is that this white bird will give you fine fingers. So when you play with the mud and you're so dirty, you see the herders coming, you go and do the right finger, and the next thing you start to deceive yourself. It's not getting. That's the beauty of what we saw growing up within farmers and herders. But now many lives have been lost, many throats have been slit, and persons are dying by the day. And now we're saying, coming to say, look, we need to. We welcome dialogue. Formerly, some never thought dialogue could work. Some believe it is just a game of live and grow. And the header will tell you we don't have anywhere we are going to. The family committee will tell you we have lost a lot. There's attack and reprisal, attack, killing and counter killings, and the cycle of violence will continue. But we are believing that maybe now. But the question is, will the parties in the conflict be willing to resolve, be willing to sit down, and let go of the past.
And there is another thing for them to sit down and to dialogue. But the other parties who are involved in, this the killings and all of that across, the northern region states, will they be able to say, okay, we have all unanimously agreed that we're going to put an end to this killing, but will they be able to carry it out and, stop it down to those who needs to hear this word? Because the leaders can all come together and then they would say, okay, we agree that we're going to put an end to these. But then stepping it down to the communities, taking it even down to the grassroots, are the people over there willing to listen? We've had cases of people over time who've been scared of going to their farmlands, and this has led to hunger. Why? Because they are scared of their own lives. They are scared because they do not want to, put themselves out there at the face of danger. And no one goes
I think we have our own big daddy here, retired police commissioner, Mr. Rabiu Ladodo, who is joining us from the ancient city of Kano, if I'm right here. We want to ask him this question about the engagement and the need for dialogue. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Very good morning. My name is Igaro Atan. My co-anchor is Susan Ita. I want to ask you, what's your take on the issue of Khan now saying that dialogue is the solution? Before we usually hear leave our land, now we're hearing dialogue is the solution.
It's okay. Good morning, Nigerians. I don't have problem with dialogue. I don't have problem with negotiations in security issues. My problems with negotiations or dialogues or anything of that nature has to do with insincerity. You discover that on both sides there is no sincere approach to the negotiation. There is also issue of corruption. There is a deception, there is a lack of political will, and it also serves as opportunity breach when there are issues of negotiation. Okay, let me quickly explain. In sincerity, you discover that each side is not sincere to its opponent. Government functionaries, some state governments, let me be frank with you, are very, very sincere in making negotiation to bring peace in their state. But you discover that some functionaries of the government are not sincere. Even the gunmen or bandits or whatever they are called on, some of them are not also sincere. We have witnessed a situation where negotiation took place. You people interview some of them why they did not surrender the totality of their weapons. One of them said, Nisa Karaini. That means there is no sincerity. Then there is issue of corruption. Corruption in our societies can fit into anything you think of. Once there is construction of anything of a community, corruption comes in. If there is a negotiation, the negotiators and those who are experts in benefiting from such through corruption, they move in. Then there is deception. You discover that once you deceive me, the next time you look for me for negotiation, I will be very careful. I took part in negotiation in Angola between MPLA and UNITA some years back. I discovered that government, that is MPLA, to some extent deceived UNITA. UNITA also in some, we were intermediaries, under United Nations. You discover that also UNITA deceived government, that is MPLA. So what are we talking about? Once there is deception, no good negotiation or dialogue.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
My colleague got a question for you.
Okay.
Yes, you've talked about corruption, and then you've also talked about insecurity. So, insincerity. So, how can multi-level, policing, be implemented effectively to address these security concerns?
Yes, we have to be very sincere to ourselves. That's all. The government has to be sincere. The government, I learned that some of them are really looking for dialogue because of some, government actions, government operations. So in such, like in Katsina and other places, we have witnessed where, yes, the bandits are ready for such a negotiation. So if there is insincerity, if there is corruption, if there is deception, if there is a lack of political will, if it is an opportunity for some people to enrich themselves, how do you, no matter how pressed the bandits are, once they discover that they are being deceived, or some people are just enriching themselves for this negotiation, they will never surrender. They will never give up. So we have to just tell ourselves the truth, my daughter.
Well, how safe is this negotiation? I mean, because you're dealing with the armed.
Very good.
How safe?
Yes, it is said when government discover that government will cost less. You see, I want to pay more attention to government because government is a legally constituted entity, while bandits is an illegal formation for illegal activities. So for that reason, government should consider it a situation where if a successful negotiation takes place, believe you me, my daughter, government will cost less. They cost, even if they want to employ them, screen them like what we did in Angola, what we call quartering area. We screen those who want to join government forces, those who want to go on farming, those who want to go on a kind of rehabilitation. All what the government will cost or will pay or will spend on this will never, I am sure, I'm not talking on behalf of any government, but I statistically believe the government will pay less than the way it is paying for insecurity now. And again, government should bring into its mind that there will be public confidence on it if it goes on negotiation that is workable. I'm talking of workable negotiation. And there is what you call political gimmick. Let the government apply political gimmick so that there will be social and economic activities and development. The whole thing the greater percentage of what I'm talking about is on government. What I want, my idea here about the government is, let government gather forces, very strong forces to show these bandits that the government is very, very serious. Look at forces once on one side, then call them for negotiation. Look, you are human like other people that were protected. Let us come into negotiation. If you refuse, look at what you have. How someone said, what I mean here is, government should not share anything. It can enter into dialogue, but let the government just stand on its own.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Now, let me take you back a little to the middle belt. Here we know we had problems in Benue, we have had problems in...
That one is even easier.
Now, how would they engage to live mutually? How would they engage to live mutually? Because Benue boiled, Plateau boiled, somehow Taraba boiled. How would they engage to live mutually?
Believe me, that middle belt is easier than banditries in far north here. Katsina, Zamfara.
You say it is easier, but it has been very difficult throughout decades.
It's not difficult. We are just not telling ourselves the truth. It works. I work in Plateau, for example. Even in Delta, look at history. and so on. There were factors that were applied and they worked. When there were changes in government, why don't you ask the questions that why we are now seeing insecurity in the Middle Belt? Why? Why there were secured communities before now? Look, go back to the history of northern Nigeria. I always cry. I am not so old to forget history. I am not so young to forget history, and I'm not too old not to tell history. I grew when northern Nigeria was so sweet, so sweet. Let me tell you, there is a Christian in Plateau named Halima, a policewoman. We served in Plateau, Police Staff College. When they asked her, why are you gathering Halima? She said, a man, very close friend to her father, brought to God when she was born. He brought to God and they named her Halima. According to him, Halima is the name of his mother. And the Christian community accepted the name Halima and so on. This was northern Nigeria at that time. While we are children of those, we are children and grandchildren of those who made northern Nigeria very sweet.
But what is the problem now? Where did we lost it? It seems we've lost it completely.
Corruption. Tribalism. Look, don't make a negotiation for your pocket. Don't make a negotiation for your religion. Don't make a negotiation for your tribe. Don't make negotiation for whatever selfish interest. Make a negotiation for the generality of people. If government is making negotiation, let it make a negotiation for its own people, irrespective of whatever they are. That is my stand. We lost northern Nigeria because of selfish interest, because of corruption,
in the proposed or ongoing engagement, is it ever possible for the Christians, the Muslims, the Idoma, the Biro, the Fulani, the Ekene to live together as one as it was way back in the 60s, 70s, early 80s, when it started to degenerate?
Very good. Okay, those in the negotiation team who are old, who can tell history of northern Nigeria, let them be sincere to themselves. How they were in those days. And those who are young, who don't know what happened, let them ask questions. Those elderly ones, tell them the truth. The truth, the beauty of northern Nigeria in those days. They are still alive. And Juma them are still alive. They made the northern Nigeria very sweet. The children, they were in the military.
The Gowans,
if you read
Gowans, David Mark.
Gowans them, look, if you hear what those people, whenever there are interviews with them, I used to cry. I used to shed the tears. These were the people who made Nigeria, not even northern Nigeria, what it is. And they're still alive. So me and you, let us continue ask the question you are asking. Why is the problem? Don't go far. The problem is with us. It's a small boy coming to community with flashy cars, lavishing life. We never one day ask how you got this money. And when there is a problem, such people with money will come and sponsor on behalf of their tribe or of their clan or of whatever. And the elderly ones never one day stop them.
Before we let you go to take on the next person who will be joining us from the Khan family in the north here. Yeah, what can we learn? You are in Kano, so far so good. Despite the struggle in the northeast with Boko Haram, in the northwest with the bandits here, Kano and Jigawa have been largely peaceful. How come? What magic happened in Kano that they couldn't do? They couldn't do.
I know Katsina more than Kano. I'm from Katsina.
Okay.
I work in Kano. Let me tell you, Kano and Jigawa, I worked in Jigawa as when I was assistant commissioner of police.
Good.
They are not bordering with any forests. That's one. Two, there is one unique thing with Kano. It's a business center. I am telling you, I have witnessed many riots in Kano. If Kano will shut down for a day or two, believe me, the elders, the businessmen, the traditional rulers, they will just call a stop to it. And once one or two people go to radio or television, you will see everything stand still. They will all go back to their businesses. That is one. Two, probably, I don't want to talk of politics. Maybe political goodwill and other things related to that. Kano man will never want trouble that will trouble his business. But unfortunately, other places, they don't care. Person can even come and burn his house in other places in order to show that, yes, other people attack him. You see? So everything is surrounding on selfish interest, whether we like it or not. The governor is a piece of... Okay, go ahead.
I won't let you go, but I've been told to just ask you a question on President Bola. You are from Katsina State. President Bola Tinubu had a warm reception at Katsina State, and he gave
I took part in receiving you.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah, and he gave a matching order that they should go and... Hello, CP.
Hello, go ahead. He gave matching order, yes.
That they should go and reclaim all the forests where the banditries are holding sway. This is not the first time we are getting those orders. President gave the order. Is government looking ready this time?
Yeah.
I said, is government looking ready this time?
Well, I am not in service. I cannot speak on behalf of servicemen. But these kind of statements are the statements that we are always looking for. This is political will. Political will. Tinubu is not from Katsina, but he's giving directives to secure Katsina. So that is political will. And that is what we really want. Let me tell you, I was ADC governor. We visited a state. Our roads given to us was leaking. Then the governor come to receive my governor to the occasion. The governor saw it leaking. He sent for commissioner works. One commissioner works came. Though it was military era, he showed him the leaking place without saying anything. He did not say anything. The governor did not, one Navy officer, he did not say anything. He just pointed where our lodge was leaking. And just carry our governor. Let's go. Before the event finishes, believe me, they changed the routine, they changed everything, paint it. When we came, it was no longer routine. So that is what we want leaders to be. I want President Tinubu to follow up his statement in Katsina. That means, even if he did not come back, let him ask his commanders, how far about my directives on so. That means they will build up, they will sit up. But if the statement ends there is no political goodwill.
Okay. Thank you very much, retired Commissioner of Police, Rabiu Ladodo from currently Kano State. He is from Katsina State, and you say that the president must follow up with that directive so that there will
not the most. At the point of correction, must. I cannot say must to the president.
But the president must follow up.
You can say that as a journalist.
But a uniform man
I am soliciting
Nigerians insist that the president and the service chief must follow up so that we can see our eyes closed.
No, my brother. please, even you journalists, don't use that word.
No, we must use the word must. We are the ones who put the president there, and it's a very good word to demand. You may not use that word to police.
Do you want to provoke the situation? We're looking for peace.
But no, the peace we want is a must. We must get peace. We need peace so that we can sleep with our two eyes closed. I mean, that is one of our problems in our society.
Thank you very much. We must be a disciplined society. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Police Commissioner Arabiu Ladodo, who joined us from Kano, he said we shouldn't use the word must because you can't talk to the Commander-in-Chief and tell him he must follow up and secure Nigeria. When you are a uniform man, you may not use the word must, but I think, Susan, we got the right to use the word must.
Yes, because
to the Commander-in-Chief that Nigeria must be secure. Yes. As the electorate, as the masses, I think we should use the word must.
Yes, we should, because as Nigerians are calling for accountability.
We're not expecting the president.
No, we're not.
You are a uniform man, you can't use the word must to your boss, but we can use the word must, and the country must be secure. Farmers must go to farm and work freely, people must trade freely, and Katsina must be secure.
And must be peaceful as well.
And you say you can't use the word must. Somehow, anyway, that was, you know, you see this old retired police commissioner, they really show respect. The younger ones who sometimes go on Facebook to insult the command structure, they may not largely care. But he raised one point, Susan, here.
Yes.
And he talked about the need for us to be very sincere, very tolerant, that we need to live in peace. And we have been badly divided by religion, divided by ethnicity, divided by regionalism, and we're so destroyed that the North he grew up in, the North Tiwa Danjuma grew up in, the North that David Mark grew up in, the North Babangida grew up in, the North Abacha grew up in. This was a united North. Right. But today, everyone appears to be singing a different song.
Exactly. And while he was talking, saying that there is a large need for there to be dialogue. My major concern, so he talks about, putting sincere people there who would not just be, after the tribe or, involved in...
Okay, we got just about 3 minutes to hook up to Lagos here, but if we're ready, let's quickly bring in the CAN chairman for Northern Nigeria to get his thoughts in just about 2 minutes also before we take you straight to Lagos. If we're ready, if Reverend Joseph Hayat can hear us quickly, Reverend Hayat, if you can hear us, let's get your take on what you think about CAN call for dialogue in Northern Nigeria, particularly in the Middle Belt, very troubled states of Benue as well as Plateau.
Yeah, the call for dialogue is actually important because almost every violence you see, the end of it is on the dialogue table. If you fail to dialogue, you will go destroy properties, kill lives, and then come back to dialogue to find peace. So it's a reasonable voice, it's a godly voice, it's a responsible voice that we are calling for dialogue. The challenge we have is that who do we actually dialogue with? But let there be the willingness to dialogue, the desire to dialogue, the preparation to dialogue, the commitment for dialogue. And as we continue like this, we'll be able to find the right people to dialogue with. You see, when you get the right and responsible people dialoguing, that's when you can separate from the criminals, you can separate from the evil ones, you can separate from the troublemakers, you can separate from those who are causing pain. You did say something which I quite agree. We have to remind our government that they have a constitutional responsibility to protect, to secure lives and properties. So when you say must, we are not saying anything contrary. We are saying what the Constitution said they should do. So we are calling them to do their role, but we are open and willing to dialogue to find solutions. What exactly, why are you killing my people? Why are you destroying roads? Why are you causing people havoc? Please tell us so that if we have offended you, we can say sorry. But if you cannot come to dialogue, that means then it is not because of anything. You are just a criminal. That's when government cannot know, oh, this one is not actually looking for solutions to one's problem. And but the willingness for dialogue is a godly thing, it's a responsible thing, and should be encouraged.
Let me ask you this. Before we brought you on board, I know it was a little bit difficult getting you via Zoom, no fun of anybody. Somehow network may not be so good to us, but we thank God we've been able to link up with you. The guest before you was the former police commissioner, Mr. Rabiu Ladodo, and he spoke extensively when we look about issue of the Middle Belt. He touched on the fact that the North, many people grew up in, I don't want to raise myself, who also grew up in the North all of you grew up in, was an extremely united North. A North where, in the military those days, no one talks about the issue of tribe or religion. That's what gave back to the likes of T.Y. Danjuma, Yakubu Gowon, David Bonaventure, Amak, several alongside the Babangida of this world, the Abata of this world, and several other persons, the Ramapokola of this world. He said the North had been badly penetrated, badly destroyed, badly contaminated with certain viruses from religion, tribalism, ethnicity, and all of that. Looking at it with the lens of the Middle Belt, are you sure we can engage in dialogue to build back to where the North was in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, and even in the 40s?
I'm privileged to have been born in a military barrack. So I grew up to test that North you have just described. I grew up to enjoy that relationship of that North that you have just said at the commissioner side. The fact of it is that a good number of my father's friends in the military were Muslims, were Hausas, were Fulanis. We just crack jokes, we live happily, we call each other in a northern term, dengue. That means we are relatives, we are siblings. Unfortunately today, some people have either used religion, politics, or whatever sentiment to divide us. So when we are reminding ourselves is that as Northerners, we are one family. Look, as human beings, every human being we see on the face of the earth are members of one human extinct family. So we never instigate you about religion, instigate you about tribe, instigate you about any identity to destroy, is just being selfish. The kind of language we speak to each other is no longer the kind of language of yesterday. So I subscribe to what he's saying, and that's why we are saying we at the Christian Association or the Christian community in Northern Nigeria, we are willing for that dialogue. To be honest with you, the Middle Belt people are peace-loving people, are people who are accommodating. Where did we find these killers who come to kill innocent women, kill innocent old women, punch their property, stop them from going to farm? That is why we are saying, come, let's dialogue. What exactly is the reason that you are tormenting us? Let's dialogue. What exactly is the reason you are destroying us? Let's dialogue. But you see, if you are a criminal, then there will be no dialogue. Then because you don't even want to be seen. And that's when government should go after them and take care of them. But for now, our hands, our doors are open for dialogue. And I quite agree that the North we had before is not the North now. So we have to go back to build our region so that our children will grow to love others, embrace others, accommodate others, see each other as one, without using derogatory, insulting language on one another. We want our children to grow to be human, who love and care for every human being. Let me conclude by saying that in the past, we not only unity among Northerners, the North has always been the place where if you come as a visitor, no one is afraid of you. You'll be given a place. Children will even be asked to vacate their rooms and ask you to stay in their room. You will ask
there. We hope that you could call back. Susan, it got question for you. Susan, he raised the point there about the unity of the North. I think we share similarities. Those of us who grew up in the barracks, lived in the barracks, and one very inconvenience in those days in Christmas and Salah, just find everybody sharing food. Talk about points. Everyone is sharing food. You just have this complexity of different type of media and you waste that. We just hope and pray that we could ever come back to that stage where it will be a smooth society for everybody.
Well, coming to that stage where we're going to have a smooth society for everybody is very visible, right? But then again, it's going to take a lot on the part of our government to invest more in security, to give Nigerians the assurance that yes, they can actually live in a secured environment or in an enabling environment. That
okay, we got it back. Susan, I think you can take a simple question.
Yes, please. Reverend Joseph, so you've talked so much about CAN wanting to die. And
to secure our land. The division among us is the reason why government is not doing what it's supposed to do. So I see that some people in power deliberately divide us so that we cannot together confront our government and ask for responsible leadership and ask for accountable leadership because they have divided us. And you see, this division only helps criminals to have a field day. So when we are united, Christians and Muslims, people of different tribes in the North, we can tell government that what we are calling for is good governance, security for all of us, not for some people, not for a tribe, not for a religion. But what is happening today, we are speaking with different voices. If the Christians are crying, probably some Muslims will feel, oh, they are angry because the man is a Muslim. Or if the Muslims are crying, some Christians will feel, oh, they are angry because the man is a Christian. Unfortunately, in liberty, there is no Christian Muslim. It is just purely good governance, service delivery, and securing the people.
Joseph, so looking at the dialogue that CAN intends to have with these people, I don't know, what are CAN's expected outcome? Being that you're dealing with people, who have a track record of killing, what's the expected outcome from this dialogue?
You see, what the CAN president said is that CAN is appealing to the Muslim Belters to agree to dialogue. It is when there is that understanding about dialogue, then we come to dialogue table. We have been living together, we know ourselves, so we can call ourselves together to dialogue. First, let's agree that there is need for dialogue. When we do that, then we'll be able to separate between those who want peace and those who are enemies of peace.
CAN, as a body that controls the religious cycle in very complex system in Plateau, and even if you go to Benue, CAN has a very big show in the chief area, in Bay West, Bay East, and in Otopo, Ohimini, and even down to Agatu and some other areas around. CAN initiate a peace to bring those persons who are affected. These are connecting them with some of the headers who have lived with them for centuries.
Yeah, CAN is already doing that. I know very well that the national CAN was in Plateau when there was an attack in Bokos, an attack in Bassa. CAN is already working to go to even Gombe to reach out because of the attack of the truck that ran onto Young Children during the Easter procession. CAN is also reaching out to Benue. So CAN has been doing a lot of jobs. Kudos to the national president of CAN. He is a peaceful man. He was in Imo a few days ago with the Sultan under the umbrella of NAREC to discuss this thing. So CAN is doing her best. And that's why I love it that CAN is the one saying, let's go to the table of dialogue.
Still talking within that purview here. This dialogue is not initiated, like I asked you before. If dialogue is not initiated here, and you are the umbrella body, within the caveat of biblical injunction that you should follow, seek peace and pursue it. That word pursue. And within the caveat of also Matthew 5 verse 9, that the peacemakers will be called the sons of God. Within the caveat also of persons reaching out. The question I ask is, yes, you have worked with the Sultan, yes, you have worked. Can't CAN, as the body to which these people report to, if for nothing, on Sunday morning for the Holy Communion, the Bible school section, and the worship, can't CAN sit down? Even Governor Adia is a Reverend Father from within the CAN community. The governor of Plateau State, Mutfuam, is from within the CAN community. Can't you invoke these your two members and stimulate a conversation that will bring the headers to the table, since those in government appear to have forgotten or lost the script?
No, I think there's a mix-up here. We have to be clear in this matter. Those who are coming and killing people don't belong to CAN. They are not under our churches. The fact of all is that they come disguising with different identity. In some cases, we hear them called herders. In some cases, they even call them by tribal names and others. So the willingness of the church for dialogue is the most important gesture that should be reciprocated. I believe the two governors have shown their Christian spirit of blessed are the peacemakers and also calling for dialogue. But you see, for the umbrella body of the Christian community to say dialogue is important, it shows her willingness of doing every sacrifice for the peace of Nigeria. So what is left is, who is the commander-in-chief? Who has the ability to deal with criminals who torment Nigeria? He is the one we are appealing to. That since we are willing for dialogue, know that when we are dialoguing with responsible people, those who refuse dialogue is a clear indication that they don't want peace. So we know what the law says about them. But for us, we are simply playing our godly role, our Christian spirit, by saying, look, what exactly, why the killing? Why do people be sleeping and you come and destroy them? Can you please come, let's dialogue, let's know. Have anybody done anything? So this is the kind of gesture or kind of when we're extending to whoever feel that something is happening, that's why they kill it. But I still repeat that the entire Middle Belters, whatever tribe they are responsible, peace-loving, godly, accommodating people. The fact of all is that I think those who are causing this havoc in their midst are abusing their simplicity, abusing their loving gesture, abusing their accommodating spirit. Instead of reciprocating with love, they are causing them pain. But despite that, we are still saying, we want dialogue. What else do you want from us?
Yes, Reverend Joseph. So I'm curious to know about those whom can, have extended this dialogue invitation to, right? Because I'm thinking, in as much as they would reach out to the federal government, they could also reach out to the other religion, right, to bring them in, because the other religion, appeals more to those who are actually, in this insecurity issues, and also the security agents. Well, I really don't know. I'm asking, what are those bodies, or who are those bodies rather, that can intends to inculcate into this dialogue?
To say we want dialogue, we do understand the other groups that we have to dialogue with them. But you cannot even go for dialogue if you have not yet accepted at home that you want dialogue. So what CAN has simply done is to say, look, as a responsible Christian organization, we want dialogue. And I told you that last week, CAN president and other Christian leaders were in Imo to have a conversation around this under NARE. So already the olive branch has been extended to the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and the Miyetti Allah. Personally, I know the leaders of the Miyetti Allah in northern Nigeria have reached out to me. How do we work together to bring to an end this matter? So what is left now is action.
Reverend Joseph Hayab, what is left now is action, and we pray and hope that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, our President Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu, as well as the service chiefs coming from the NSNU, Ribadu, our Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher, and the other component of the higher top hierarchy of the Nigerian security architecture will do the needful, and see that this engagement, this non-kinetic approach is taken very seriously. Thank you very much, Reverend.
Thank you too for having me.
Mr. President,
yes,
to ensure that we have peace.
Yes.
Like what we raised before, a directive was given in Katsina State that the military should go comb the forest, clear the bandits away, recover captured territories. I don't know whether that will amount to only the northwest, or the northeast is also there. Boko Haram still control some places. The argument is whether it's 3 local government, or it is 6, or it is 9, or it is 2, or it is 3. But Boko Haram got some areas under its control. The bandit got some forests under their control here, and the box now stop on the tail of the Commander-in-Chief to get security guys go in there, clear off these non-state actors and criminal elements, and ensure that farmers can go to farm.
Absolutely, and I believe this is also a call to Mr. President, or to look into the nooks and crannies of these insecure areas, to put measures in place, or security personnel or security moves in place to ensure that these areas are safe, to reassure Nigerians that yes, Nigeria once again can also be a peaceful country.
Okay, let's hope that we will put that in place, because we've asked that over and over again and again. Susan, the issue of intelligence gathering is key. When these guys are gathering, are we infiltrating them, or do we just sit down in the balance with all security, with many security men looking for juicy postings where you can go and become odd lanes to big names, or you want to go and work in the creeks where you can have little access to illegal oil money. I want to get people that will largely go in there, clear this forest, clear this area, make them safe for Nigerians to actually go farm, go do other things here, and ensure that we go beyond press statements. When statements come, we are on top of the situation. President give a matching order. Nigerians are people have been used to that. Even the bandits are used to that. The killers are used to that. The headsmen are used to that. Boko Haram are used to that. Even those who are fighting, are committing, wreaking havoc are used to it. But when we match worse with action, we are very certain that these particular criminals will be on the run. And not just on the run, Susan. Once you chase them and they are on the run, you keep chasing them. That's your job. I told somebody in the security agencies that he said, when we chase them, we can now rest. I said, you don't rest. We chase them forever because we are being paid every day to chase them and maintain the pace. So you don't just say, okay, we have chased criminals away. It happens in Abuja, and when they chase them from Buhari into one of Kaduna State, they will go and rest. Anytime kidnapping comes, they will mobilize again, they will chase them again. After some 8-7 months, they come back again, they chase them again. It's more like we just waiting. It's like a head and sick game.
Yes, and that's why there should be, proper follow-up when the president gives this marching order. There should be a follow-up to the point that it gets to the roots of this issue, not only in Africa, because Mr. President would give the marching order. Of course, he's not the one to physically carry out this action. So the people who are in the authorities are supposed to lay down these actions and take it to the roots needs to do proper follow-up.
Okay, let's hope that the commander-in-chief will do follow-up. After President Muhammadu Buhari during his time told them, stop staying in Abuja, go to the theater of operation. Don't stay in Abuja for too much. No siren around Abuja. As you see those military convoys, no siren around Abuja. Let the service chiefs go to the troubled region of the northeast, the northwest, and go to the troubled region and stay there. Do the theater of operation, calm it down, calm Plateau, calm Benue, calm the northeast, calm the northwest, and solve all the problems. Then you can come to Abuja here briefly and fall back again, not just when the president has given the order, everyone is okay, early morning you are in your house, you take your tea, whatever the commander tells you there, you take. Sometimes, the commanders can not even talk to you because they are very afraid. Here we got the police commissioner telling us not to use the word that Nigerians must be safe. That you can't tell that to a commander. It's a police language, it's a uniform language. You can't tell that to your order by using the word must. But we civilians can use the word must to those persons who are being paid with taxpayers' money. Nigeria must be secure, Nigeria must be better, Nigeria must be safer. And when we use the word must as civilian, we don't wear uniform, we don't go to parade. Any commanding officer, we can tell the person Nigeria must be safe. If you are tired of making it as safe as a uniform personnel at any level you command there, then maybe you have to give it to the next person. And let's try that whether it will work here. And that's how we the civilian work. Within the uniform structure, you can't use that word must to your superior. But for the public, we use that. We thank you very much for staying with us. Thank you very, very much for staying with us. That's how far we can go on this interview segment. We'll take a break. When we return from the break, the program this morning on ITV will continue.